All right. Well, I want to welcome everyone to the Public Speakers Association July Virtual Summit. And I want to introduce our first speaker, Dr. JoAnn Ajayi-Scott. And Dr. JoAnn is a congressionally award-winning philanthropist, a mentoring expert, and iconic entrepreneur. Dr. JoAnn Ajayi-Scott continues the mission of over 32 years of educating, mentoring, and empowering over 1,000 girls through the philanthropy of over 300 professional and entrepreneurial women in over 5 school districts in 3 states. With a PhD in organizational leadership and over 32 years mentoring women in business and school-age girls, she is a recognized mentoring expert, guiding women to start businesses or showing them how to leverage their businesses through capacity building and philanthropy. So it's my pleasure to turn the time to Dr. JoAnn Ajayi-Scott, and it's the virtual stage is hers.
Thank you so much, Brian. I tell you, anything that can go wrong will, but guess what? We find a way to make it happen anyway. And I want to thank you for the opportunity, Brian, of being on here once again to share my story and hopefully to educate, mentor, and empower others. Today, I want to talk about becoming legendary. And I want to speak on 4 ways specifically and close on the 5th way to leave a legacy and share your story with the world. The most important thing that we can do is share our story, because that's what's going to help people remember us. But there are other specific ways that we can become legendary, therefore leave a legacy. See, a lot of people think legacy is what you leave, but in actuality, legacy is what you build while you are here on earth. And you build that legacy, number 1, by developing a team. It's important to develop a team to help share your story, whether that is in your business, whatever kind of business you're building. You need a solid team. You need a loyal team. You need a supportive team, and you need a team that will support your mission and your vision. You know, a perfect example is with Essence of a Lady, the nonprofit that I started 32 years ago. I had to go on hiatus a couple of times because I felt like the women and men who were on my board of directors were not truly there. And the reason I say that was, number 1, a solid board member will be fiduciary, which means they will make donations because all the people who support any business or organization looks from the leaders at the top. So the board need to be fiduciary and have their giving in place. You know, I took a training and I said, I discovered I wasn't crazy when I thought my board members should have been making donations, either annual donations or quarterly donations, because what that does is give a true buy-in to the vision and the mission of the organization. And it's the same with your employees. If you have a business, they should have the total buy-in of that organization or that business in order for you to make it successful. And how you inspire, motivate, encourage, empower your team to do that is the key. So developing the team and getting their support is the first step to you becoming legendary and leveraging your business. Now, when I say business, nonprofits are businesses also. They have the same bills. They have this, not the same in the sense of what they pay, but they have bills that they have to pay monthly to, and they have employees. They have marketing and promotion expenses. They have everything a regular business have. So it's important for the nonprofit as well as the for-profit entities to have a strong team behind them that supports them. Because long after you're gone, your legacy will continue through the team that you have built to take it over. And as you share your story, it's important for you to make sure that that team continues to support your mission and vision long after you're gone. And when you're sharing that story, you should definitely make sure you talk about your team. I'm truly blessed to have the team members that I have that support my nonprofit, because it would not have survived for 32 years if I did not have it. Now, the second way to become legendary is to be consistent with your mission. Whether you have a business, for-profit or nonprofit, your mission has to be clear and succinct. You know, the mission of Essence of a Lady is to educate, mentor, and empower youth through the philanthropy of adults. And that has been our mission for over 32 years. We've been blessed to bring in over 300 or more adults, mostly women, but we also have the support of men too, who come in to support the mission of Essence of a Lady Incorporated. Now, how are you consistent with your mission? Whenever you're sharing your story with the world, whether that's through broadcasting, through podcasts, through social media, or on virtual summits such as this, everyone should leave knowing what your mission is. As I stated, Essence of a Lady's mission is to educate, mentor, and empower youth through the philanthropy of adults. Now, the third way that you become married and therefore leverage your business as a philanthropist is you market and promote your business in all arenas. As I stated, you can't just be in one place, because you will not just find people in one place to support your mission, and you have to make sure that you market. For instance, this is a platform to market your business. There are all the other platforms mentioned previously. I am consistently on social media. I am consistently now on Clubhouse. For those of you who are not familiar with Clubhouse, you want to connect on Clubhouse. Some miraculous things are happening on Clubhouse. So if you have not tried to join Clubhouse, you should. Yesterday, I was on one of the Clubhouse events through Mom's Link, and they consistently have hundreds of people on there every Wednesday and Friday. And no, I'm not trying to just plug Mom's Link. I'm just saying it is an amazing group, and they got thousands of them on Clubhouse. But the amazing thing about this was they have what they call give and ask, and they allow a large percentage of the people on there to become speakers. And they bring them up to the podium and they allow you to share what you're giving that day, and then ask for support in where you need support. And this one lady came on there talking about this nonprofit that she supported. And she told about how this lady is helping children in Haiti and how the president of Haiti just got killed and how this lady has 5 children right there in Atlanta, Georgia. And out of nowhere, this other lady came up and said, well, I'll make a donation of $10,000 to that nonprofit that this lady was supporting. And others came up and gave other ways that they would support. Another lady came up and said she'd give 1,000. I'm just sitting back waiting my turn because I've connected with the founders of this Clubhouse organization and I'm waiting my turn. I know that when the time is right, when I'm promoting something, I will have the opportunity to get the support just like this lady did on yesterday. So marketing and promoting your business is very important because, you know, luck is being at the right place at the right time. And you don't know this is or the right time. So you try to market and promote your business on every possible platform, social media, podcast, virtual summits, in-person summits. Any is to speak. One thing I learned Hoffman. She is the past owner of Public Speakers Association. And one thing she said to me, she said, JoAnn, when someone give you an opportunity to speak, just say yes. You don't know when or how, or you may not even have a topic at that time. Just say yes to give yourself an audience that you would probably not normally have and make connections with people you may not normally connect with. So that's why becoming legendary is one of the ways to become legendary is to market and promote your business in all arenas. Because remember how luck happens. You have to be present to have the opportunity. So market and promote your business in all arenas, social media, podcasts, virtual summits, in-person events, networking groups, and connect with groups specifically that will support your mission. That's where you spend the majority of your time. But be open to go anywhere. Now, the 4th step is to provide tools and resources to the people who want to be a part of whatever you're doing. And don't be afraid to provide free resources. One thing about Clubhouse is you cannot come on there selling things, if you will. You have to come on there giving things, giving people an opportunity to learn more about your business, learn more about your organization, learn more about your skills and your talents. And everybody on yesterday was giving out something free. Some people paid for they're having a summit coming up in September. A lot of people on that show yesterday gave $100 to pay for other women to have the opportunity to come to that summit. And time those women gave that money, the founders of MomLink selected people in that audience to give free tickets to. That was one of the things that they did. And then afterwards, they also offered people free resources on their platform. Mostly everybody on ClubLink have Instagram accounts. and they have those links inside of their bios. And so anytime someone is talking, you can click on that person's face, because it's all audio. You don't see people's face. It's all audio. All you see is a photo. You click on that person's photo, it takes you to their bio. You read their information, scroll down, and they will have their Instagram and their Twitter link there. And you click on their link, it takes you to their page, and you send them an instant message. Sometimes they will give you a keyword to put in that Instagram message, so that they will know specifically why you are coming there and what resource to send you for free. Notice the greatest and most successful people in the world are servants and givers. They give without expecting anything in return. But once they bring you into their list, bring you on their list, bring you in their database, that is when they start to offer you opportunities for more information on that specific topic, and then an opportunity to purchase items. But remember, it all starts with philanthropy, giving back, because remember, that is how you're going to be remembered. As a 2013 National Philanthropist of the Year, I can tell you, I did not start out giving. When I was in high school, I thought, what? You want me to work for free? You want me to volunteer? Yes, I thought it was crazy. But once I had children and I realized that I had such a busy life, that is when I decided that in order to actually be involved in my children's life, I had to volunteer in the organizations and the clubs and the programs that they were involved in. So I began to volunteer. I started out in Girl Scouts because my daughter was 5 years old and she was a Brownie. So I knew in order for me to be actively engaged, I had to volunteer so I could be present with her. And from there, I moved all the way up in Girl Scouts, from cookie mom to a founder of a troop, all the way up to the national delegate at the National Convention for Girl Scouts. I volunteered in so many areas while my children were in school. And I'm continuing to volunteer and run Essence of a Lady Incorporated to make sure that people understand that whether you have a nonprofit organization or not, you can still become a philanthropist and give back to your community, because that is how you're going to be remembered. See, people don't remember you based on the cars you drive, the houses you live in, the buildings you own. People remember you by what you have done for others. So that's where I go with the fifth way. The fifth way to become legendary right here on earth and to build a legacy is to live up to the role of philanthropy. See, three things that are critical as a philanthropist. Number one, you give your time. You know, time is something that all of us have the same amount of, and we choose how we use it. But choosing to give back specifically to our youth with your time by taking your talent that you have and sharing your talent with youth is one of the most valuable things that you can do. And the best way to do that is to become a mentor. You mentor a child that has the same aspirations to be in the same career that you've been in or that you're in right now. Because remember, when you were a child, you needed guidance. We have so many kids out there that don't have a clue about what they want to be, but they have a lot of talent and they don't know how to steer that talent. So if you have the opportunity to mentor a child by giving your time and your non-judgmental advice, then that is the first way to become a philanthropist. Give your time. The second way to become a philanthropist is to give back through donations. Every organization, nonprofit organization, whether they are 501c3 designated by the IRS, as Essence of a Lady is and has been since 2003, or not, if they are supporting children or parents of children in any form of fashion, then they are worthy to get some donations, because 99% of the time, especially the small nonprofits, they are giving money out of their own pockets. How do I know? Because I did that for about 25 years. I didn't expect much from people for over 25 years, and I felt blessed. So I had no problem paying and giving back. But what I realized, the only way I could leverage Essence of a Lady Incorporated was to get the support of the board and the people in the community to help provide more tools and resources to support the mentoring programs that we have. And it was when I did that we were able to capacity build and help more youth in the communities that we serve. So giving donations to organizations, number one, is the number one way that people are feeling. Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett, everyone that all these major stars and celebrities, they are known for giving back because number one, it's a big tax write-off. Think about it. It's on the tax form. How much did you donate? And the best part about it is that on there to lower your tax bracket. It's there to adjust your income. One of the major reasons celebrities and stars and people who make millions and millions of dollars give back, because it lowers their tax bracket. But the most philanthropic reason to make donations is because you care. You were a child. You know your experience. See, I knew a little girl. This little girl, she was 10 years old. She was actually giving back and didn't even realize it. But when she was 10 years old, she became a tutor to a second grader who struggled in reading. She spent once a week, she spent an hour sitting with that little girl and just reading to her, because at the time she didn't know it, But what she found out was learning to read only requires reading 20 minutes a day. And when a child reads 20 minutes a day, they will learn to read. They don't have to have all those other techniques of learning how to sound out the word and all that. Just basic reading, giving them books on their level, starting them out there, and helping them progress on different levels by consistent reading. This same little girl, when she was in the 5th grade, she didn't realize at that time that so many teachers were impacting her life and believed in her. One teacher allowed her to be one of the star singers in a play. Now, to put it in perspective, she was at a school where there wasn't a lot of people who looked like her. But this one teacher believed enough in her to put her on that stage to sing in one of the popular Broadway shows. Now, another teacher, when she was in the 3rd grade, saw in her what she could not see in herself. And she took her out of the regular class every day for about 30 minutes and gave her an opportunity to sit at this program and do activities individually, because she was much more advanced than the work that she was receiving. So this teacher took her out, gave her these programs, and when she completed the program, particular sessions on the program, each time she completed it, the teacher gave her a wooden nickel. And when she got 5 wooden nickels, the teacher would take her to Dippity Dan ice cream. Yes, and she was ecstatic because someone saw in her what she really didn't understand at the time, but realized it was a life-changing moment. Her 1st grade teacher saw that this little girl could recite the ABCs. Now, mind you, this little girl never did go to kindergarten, but in less than a week, she could recite the ABCs. So the teacher brought her up in front of the class and let her recite the ABCs: capital A, small a, capital B, small b. And she was so impressed. But that wasn't even the biggest part. This teacher saw that this little girl could do 3rd grade math in the 1st grade. And she took her to a 3rd grade class and demonstrated that she could do 3rd grade math in the 1st grade. Then in the 7th grade, this little girl had a teacher who was a math teacher, but they had something in common. They both the clarinet. So with this bond that this girl had with this teacher, she felt comfortable talking to this teacher. So to wrap it up, guys, I just want you to know that philanthropy is everything, no matter what career you have. And how will you really become legendary? By sharing your story, leveraging your business as a philanthropist. Thank you, Dr. JoAnn Ajayi-Scott with Essence of a Lady Incorporated.
All right. Thank you, Dr. JoAnn. And I want to invite anyone who has any questions for her to put those in the chat, or if you, maybe she could put her contact information in there, or any websites or anything that she has in the contact area, then that way you can get in touch with her. All right, so it is my pleasure to introduce our next speaker. Paul Fink, the Maverick millionaire, is one of the foremost authorities in business and personal development today. In his over 3 decades of sales, marketing, and entrepreneurial experience, Paul has moved over 20 million in real estate transactions, sold over 30 million in informational products, and ran over 250 live events. He has worked with some of the best known speakers in the world to take their events to the next level and coach entrepreneurs and small business owners from around the world to build their business and create an abundant future for them all. All right, so take it away, Paul.
Hi, how are you? And thank you so much for having me here, Brian. We've got a great group of people here, and with that, we have some opportunity to engage. The chat room is available, and I'm able to see it. So for all of you in the chat, give me a high five. Let me know that you're here and engaging. That would be the number 5 in a high five with chat. Go ahead and do that now. Let me know that you're here and that we've got some people that are ready to engage, because I want to work with you guys and engage and actually give you some great value. So the more that you engage with me, the more I can be directive to exactly what you're looking for. So great, we've got some people that are saying hi and that are engaging and high fives. And the second question then is, how many of you are doing live events? Now, I know COVID's been in an interesting space for that and has kept us all from doing that. The world is opening up. I'm starting to do live events myself, which is where I was back a year and a half ago. And now we're back doing live events all over the country. So who is doing live events? Give me a big L in the chat. You're doing live events at some sort or another. What do you mean by live? In person, yes. And how many of you are doing only virtual events? Give me a big V in the chat. So an L for live, meaning yes, we're in person, actually belly button to belly button. And how many of you are doing virtual events? Give me a big V in the chat. And if you're doing none at all, give me a big N in the chat for none of the above. Awesome, awesome. Have some idea. We've got a couple people that are doing both, which is great. Understood. That's what I've been doing for the last year and a half. And a couple people that are only doing virtual. For all of you that are doing virtual, how many of you would love to go? Are you doing virtual because that's all you know, or are you doing virtual because you don't know how to do live? And I guess that's the same question. But is it that that you don't see the value of doing a live event? How many of you would love to do, better question, how many of you would love to do live events? Give me a big high five in the chat. You would love to do live events. Doing live when I could. Yes, working on live event for PSA, of course. So here's the thing. I have been, and I'm going to go into a PowerPoint in just a minute, although I wanted to get a feel for who is here. I have been an entrepreneur for 35 years. I've always run my own ship. I've always done ran my own companies. And with that, gave me a magnitude of experience and power in sales, negotiations, and entrepreneurship. Then about 15 years ago, I started as a coach in really coaching people on how to be entrepreneurs, how to build up their business, how to create more. And I've got a background in psychology. I've got a background in a strong background in sales, negotiations, business structures, as well as personal development, certified in neuro-linguistic programming, certified in hypnotherapy. And so have that wide base to be able to coach people on how to not only build up business, but also build up and create their lifestyle, if you will. How many of you are looking for a lifestyle component? Give me again a high five in the chat for a lifestyle component, so that you're making more, but you're making it on your terms, where you're making it so that you can actually enjoy it, spend it, create it. Awesome. Living the lifestyle. Way to go. Yes, indeed. One of the things that I found is when I started coaching is that a lot of people get trained on how to coach. So there's tons of certification classes on how to coach. So how to guide people from here to there. What they miss in most of those certification classes and what they miss in most training is how to really monetize your coaching, how to create a scalable, systematized business model so that you can actually create income that gives you that lifestyle that you're looking for. When I got into coaching, I started getting questions on what I was doing and how I was propelling myself to a high level. And I started working with people in their live events as well. I had a speaker support business for about 10 years where I helped run some of the top level speakers programs throughout the country and run their live events. And now I've done over 250 live events all around the world. And so today I want to give you some really quick pointers in how to create a live event that actually gives you a monetized result so that you can start creating those 6- and 7-figure incomes that you really want. All too often with coaching, we do a great job for our clients. However, we end up struggling as coaches on a financial level. My conversation today is to help you balance that out so that you actually get a magnitude of results on a financial level as well and actually can keep doing what you do best. And that's one of the biggest pain points as I watch coaches is that they'll get into the business and do great work. However, they can only do it so far and for so long, because when you're not getting paid for the service, you're not able to create a magnitude of results financially. You've got to be spending part of your time just sustaining and surviving. And so this lesson is for you to step that game up and to create more and pay attention to all the way at the end. For anyone that's interested in more conversation with me, there's going to be an opportunity. This is just the tip of the iceberg. Who gets that? This is just the tip of the iceberg. This is only the beginning. And let me share with you my PowerPoint and talk to you about a few things. And I've got a very quick period of time to do this for all of you. So we're going to run through this, and I may even jump back and forth between my PowerPoint and live, because I definitely like talking to people real and one-to-one. This is just to make things easier. So let me tell you a little bit story about the background of who I am and what I do. I became a speaker in 2007, and it doesn't seem that long ago. However, it's been a whirlwind of a journey for me, because when I began, I knew nothing of this industry, had never even imagined myself to be a speaker, a trainer. It was the furthest thing from my mind. I had never sold anything from stage ever. Matter of fact, I was scared to death of speaking. How many of you have been scared to death of speaking and now you're a speaker? Give me a big S in the chat. I know that's where I was. And when I say I was scared to death, the first time I got up on stage, I couldn't say 2 words. Fortunately, the person that put me on stage knew that. They said, "Hey, Paul Fink here, and he's a great guy. You really should speak to him. Go speak to him in the back of the room." And then he guided me off stage. So he didn't even give me a microphone. He knew. I was scared to death. It took a little bit of desensitization to get me to the point where I could stand there and say my name, stand there and say a couple words, a couple sentences. And that was only a few short years ago. Now it's 15 plus years later, and I've sold over $30 million in informational products. I've done over 250 boot camps, and I've created consistent, persistent product, high-end sales, sold high-end programs all around the world. And when I say high-end programs, and I really want a framework here, because I've worked with people and they're working in the, dollar range, tens of dollars, maybe hundreds of dollars, and their ultimate is to sell $1,000 program. Well, that's on my lower side of my scale, and I have sold everything up to $100,000 programs and everything in between. And so, and what I want to share with you is that many of you are undervaluing who you are and your capacity to create just amazing results, and in turn, amazing value for your clients, and undervaluing what you're able to bring to the table. And with that comes a real challenge with your financial matrix. I've spoken, like I said, all around the world. I've done a ton in the real estate world as well. I've been a real estate investor for 20 years, and I was on the largest real estate stage there is right now, the Wealth Expo, which travels all around the country. So this was a few years ago. And you see me there on the program. This was the front of the big program that had all the details in it, sharing the stage with some of the best. In addition, here was another one of their wealth expos in another part of the country, and traveled all over the place. I've been able to get educated and share the stage with some of the best out there, both in personal development and real estate, some other subcategories, if you will. This is the short list. And here's what I want you to get is that so often we watch the people up on stage, and what I thought of as I watched all these people being a student, which is where I began, is that I could do that. I wanted to have their life, their lifestyle, if you will, at least pieces of it. And with that gave me the desire to create more. And so first I saw them on stage, then I got to share the stage with them. And now over the years, they've become my best friends, my clients. Started my speaker support business. So many of them leaned on me to help produce their sales, produce the quantity of their magnitude of their back end, and to really structure and systematize their programs. We've run rooms for all these guys and then some, if you know any of these gentlemen. And some of the proof of the pudding, the pictures, if you will, some of Hollywood, as well as great gurus all around the world. And this is only the beginning for you and I, and was only the beginning for me, and went on and created so much more. What I want to share with you, and I just got to make one adjustment on my personal screen so I can see everything effectively. Here's what I learned, and here's some of the key lessons in the short period of time we have. For best results, you want to do a live event or a virtual event as you go into the event. And when I was getting clients for a speaker support, I would interview my clients and talk about, well, what is it that is your goal for your virtual event, for your live event? What's your goal? And that's where this lesson begins. Begin with the end in mind. When you get focused on your goal, you will meet your goals. Most of us in personal development, we get that. So now with our live events and our virtual events, what's your goal? In asking that question, I would usually get one of four answers. I would get, well, I was told I should. So someone out there in the industry said, you should absolutely have an event. And so I did. And so I produced the event. That was my goal. They told me I should. The second thing that they said is I wanted to share my message and my knowledge. This is probably the most common answer I got, especially for people just entering into the industry. I've got a great message. I've got a great knowledge, and I want to share it with the world. And so I create a platform to do that. Awesome. Number three is it's a fulfillment event, content, which means I sold a program prior that said I needed to do a live training of some sort. And so I created a live training. The fourth answer is, Well, to create profits, to create money, to create income. I'm in business. I got to tell you, if this fourth answer isn't on your list and your roster of agenda as to why you're doing an event, do not scratch your head wondering why you didn't make any money. Understand that. You will meet your goals. More often than not, you write down your goals, you have specific goals in mind, you will meet them. The challenge I find is most people don't put this on their agenda as one of their goals, let alone their top goal. Because the most effective answer out of all of these is absolutely to create profits. There's so many ways to get your message out, so many ways to fulfill content, so many different ways. However, a live event and a virtual event is there to create some profit for your company. You don't create profit in that way, chances are your company will not sustain for a long period of time. And when I say a long period of time, I don't mean just a couple months or a year. I mean year after year, decade after decade. You want to create a long-term business that you could retire on? This is the way. You've got to have a goal in mind. So absolutely, I work with my clients on how to create that goal so that they're acting on purpose with intent, OP, on purpose with intent. Then when you walk into your virtual event, as you're planning it, decide, and this is really key, what you're selling, how much, how many of those you're going to sell. Yes, you're predicting the future. What price point you're selling them at, and what's the features and benefits of that product for your client. So what features is what are you delivering, and benefit is what they're going to get out of experiencing the product, the coaching program in this case. Number two, so once you get into, and I'm rolling really fast, this is absolutely in strategic design across the board. I work with my clients and actually mapping all this out in detail for you. Number two, once you know exactly why you're doing the event, now it's a matter of getting everybody in line. All roads lead to the end result. The whole team, the whole support team, all your volunteers, everybody that's going to be there that's part of your organization, they all have one focus in mind, in moving the clients through the process so that they get the best benefit of the program, as well as moving towards your ultimate goal, which is to create coaching clients. And number three in this process, and again, 3 steps. 1 is goals, 2 is everybody on the same page driving towards that goal, and 3, are you clear as to who you are? What is your business model? All too often people get into an equation and and maybe you all have done this. Is this resonating with you guys? Give me a high five in the chat. Let me know this lesson is resonating. Knowing what you're selling, making sure your whole team is on the page with that. And last is making sure that you're following one business model. All too often we have the idea that we see something that we like, and so we take that piece and we plug it into our program, plug it into our event. Or we take another piece from another program, we take another piece from another program, another piece from another program or event. And before we know it, we've mixed what I call mixed models. For instance, there are some models that are designed, running a live event, and many of you have seen these, where we have a bunch of sponsorships all around the room, people that are sponsoring the event, and so they have their separate booths. There's a lot of activity, a lot of players in the mix, if you will. There are other events that are strategically designed to be one funnel, driving everyone to one place. You do those 2 things simultaneously in one event, you're going to mix up the model, and neither one will be absolutely effective. So it's kind of the difference between also like Arthur Treacher's Fish and Chips and Bonefish. 2 different restaurants that both serve fish, only you wouldn't mistake the 2. quality or quantity and speed versus quality. What is your mantra for your business? Are you looking for high-end clients? Are you looking to sell a whole bunch of low-end? You see, the thing is, when we start doing the math around what you're doing, when you're selling a low-end product, you want to sell thousands and tens of thousands. Or you can sell value where you can really be paid for doing a ton of interlocking work with somebody. Only then you want to be charging more for that quality of service. Knowing which model you're in and designing everything based on that strategic model is really key to your success. So what model are you following? I've asked more questions than answers. Only these questions, when you get clarity around them, is where your success lies. So when you strategically plan, allowing everyone to fulfill that plan and create clarity as to who you are, the chances are you will create 10 times more bottom line profit, sustainability, and success for both you and your clients in following this model. Couple of examples and a couple of my clientele, and I coach people on entrepreneurship across the board. There's a group of our clients that are absolutely involved in building more coaching businesses and growing that business. All my clients, my focus is to double and triple your income as you come on board. Jen Duplessis came on board, and these are clients that this is brand new. She worked with us during the COVID year, came on as a new student during COVID, and we increased her revenue by $70,000 almost immediately within a few months. And over the last year, somewhere in excess of $200,000 increase in her coaching business. Here's another one, Demi Woodson. Demi came on board. So Jen was in the mortgage business. Demi's in the accounting business where she helps accountants grow their practice. And she increased her bottom line revenue by somewhere around 150,000. We created a coaching program from scratch with her. This is a brand new business, $12,000 per year for coaching with her. And we just increased that. As of last month, she increased that to $17,500. If these are the price ranges that you would love to see your coaching business strive to, these are levels that you're looking to create in. I guarantee you, come hang out, come spend some time, let's talk more, and let's create a magnitude of results for you. Remember, this is only the beginning. I had a short period of time to communicate with you, and so I wanted to give you the best of the best. I've got a couple things that I can offer up, and so I'm going to give you some idea of what's on the other side. However, everything that I'm going to offer up, or at least part of that, can be free or low price. And watch what I have here. Maverick Bootcamp Abundance. I've actually created training on really details on how to lay out your 3-day boot camps, your 1-day boot camps, and a lot of this can be applied to virtual events as well. However, the focus of this is for live events. Is this particular training as to hosting a boot camp, how to build your team, how to really position and pace your agenda, verbal magic on and off the stage, how to sell and why, or what to sell and why, really laying out your pricing and your program, and the process of closing. Remember, I started off as an expert closer and negotiator in sales in multiple industries, and it's something I teach ongoing. There's some bonuses involved, and there's also a great live event. This is a live event that I'm doing currently. This is the first one that we have that we're doing in Orlando, Florida. And the first one we've done in over a year and a half. And take a look at, I think there's a quick video that I'll play for you right here.
Maybe it's time you started doing things differently. It's time you learned and implemented proven ways to double your income. It's time for you to attract more clients, earn a larger income, and achieve the results you deserve. Maverick Success Live with Paul Fink will give you the positive advantage you need. You'll be coached by award-winning international speaker, Mr. Paul Fink, best-selling author of Be a Success Maverick, helping you double your income. Maverick Success Live with Paul Fink will train you to exactly achieve and maintain these results, guaranteed.
If you find yourself saying, I want to do better, I want to do a lot better, or if you know down in your soul that you can do better and that you can experience better, that you deserve better, that you want more, a lot more, then this is definitely for you.
I think this event's a real step up for anyone. It's going to change their life in so many ways, and the way they do business, and in every aspect of what they want out of life.
All of the exercises we did every day, and everything was comfortable and safe, and it was a wonderful experience.
If you want to make a change and are willing to cooperate with Paul and to take that initiative and put that work in, this is definitely for you.
In this exciting 3-day event, you will learn proven ways to double your income. You'll learn to create a detailed plan specific to you and your business to quickly raise your income and profits. You'll attract more clients, increase sales, and create higher profits, results you can be proud of.
Hi, I'm Paul Fink, and I'm the Maverick Millionaire. I am a coach, I'm a speaker, I'm a trainer. I help people move past all their blocks and their fears to be able to sell themselves, their product, their service, their company, their vision, so that they can attract clients, they can attract prospects, they can convert more sales, and they can actually create a life of their dreams.
You'll discover strategies for you and your specific business that you can start today that will significantly grow your bottom line. Not only is Success Maverick Live informative, it's also a lot of fun. Isn't it time for you to start doing things differently? Expert coaching towards your highest goals, your highest achievement in business. If you want to double your income, build your business, and get the lifestyle you deserve, join us at Maverick Success Live. Take charge and change your life. Sign up for this amazing training event right now. You'll love the results, guaranteed.
So here's what I have to close out for all of you, is that I'm breaking one of the cardinal rules I would teach you as a speaker: never offer two things. And I'm offering two things. One is, because of timing, to have a strategy call with you, which is the first offer, and then to move you to my live event. Man, the live event's coming up. We don't have time for that. So you're interested at all, you think there's something here, the event, we have an early bird special on the website, $197. Take a look, go to mavericksuccesslive.com and take a look to see if this is for you. It is July 30th in Orlando, 3-day boot camp. I would recommend getting there absolutely when the first moment it starts, and plan on staying to the last moment on Friday around 5 o'clock. And so it starts Friday morning, goes to Sunday night. And because this event, it's 3 full days with me. This isn't a sell-a-thon. This isn't a whole lot of other speakers guiding you in 12 different directions. This is me for 3 days with a group. We'll probably have somewhere around 50 people there, and with a group where we can have real engagement, where we can have real conversation about what's going on with your business and how to move you to another level in strategic design. Come with your questions. Come with exactly what you're looking to get answers on, and we answer them live right there during the event. Real work in progress. For all of you that no matter whether you come or not, And this is something that I'm doing. I'm part of the PSA community, have been for years. And I think since almost the beginning. I think it's been at least 10 years now I've been part of PSA. And so absolutely, I offer this up to you guys absolutely free, a consult with me. You want to talk about your business. You want to talk about what's going on in your coaching world. You want to talk about what's going on in your speaker world. Go to maverickoffer.com. It'll give you a link directly to my calendar. Set some time and let's really get real with what I can do for you and what I would recommend in your business to really bring it to another level. And let's set that stage. So those are the two things that are available to you. It's maverickoffer.com. And Brian, if you could type that into the chat, it's maverickoffer.com for the strategy call, and it is Maverick Success Live for the event. Guys, been a real pleasure. Thank you so much. Love this community, love everything that we do here. This is only the beginning as Brian takes it to a whole nother level, and looking forward to seeing all that we do over this next year, 2 years, 3 years, as we create a whole new platform for all of us. Talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Something's happening with my screen. Okay. I'm back. All right. Well, yeah, I think everything's been covered with Paul, and it's time to move on to our next speaker. So I want to introduce Kim Glass. Kim is a TEDx and award-winning speaker, soft skills consultant, and 4-time best-selling author. Kim has also been recognized as a finalist for Women in Technology, Best Business Connector in Dallas, Texas, and an honoree by the International Association of Women. She has been featured in various magazines and several books, such as Habit One for Women Action Takers, How Entrepreneurs Leap and Find Success, and Momentum, 13 Lessons from Action Takers Who Change the World. So Kim, the virtual stage is yours. Take it away.
Thank you, Brian. So thrilled to be here and see everyone. I know how it feels to live in fear. I was a member of a religious cult for 35 years. And because of the fear of the leaders, I lost myself, I lost my family, and I lost my freedom. I remember the time in the supermarket parking lot when the cult leader had me in the car with her. As my mom came out, she specifically drove by very slowly to let my mom see her with me in her car. My mom started screaming words that I could not even repeat. And very quickly, the cult leader screeched us out of that parking lot. And 15 years later, I saw that same exact pattern started to happen with me and my daughter. And that's when I said, enough is enough. I refuse to live in fear. You know, in a recent survey, 84% of people hold on to an irrational fear that's keeping them awake at night and unable to achieve their personal and business goals. So if you have a pen and piece of paper, I'd love to just go through a quick quiz with you to see, are you living in fear as a speaker or a business owner? Question number 1, I'm afraid to pick up the phone and make calls for my business. Question number 2, I'm so scared that I may make the wrong business decision. Question number 3, I'm scared that other people will not agree with my opinion. Question number 4, I am so scared that other people will not even like me, let alone hire me to speak for them. Question number 5, I am so afraid to lose my business. Question number 6, I am so unsure of what to say when I'm out networking about my business. Question 7, I am afraid to promote my business on social media. Question number 8, I am afraid I will be criticized for my appearance. Question number 9, I'm scared of sharing my business and being rejected by others. And question number 10, I won't try because I'm so afraid that I may fail. So if you'll tally up all your yeses, hey, if you answered 1 yes, we're all human, right? If you answered 2 questions with yes, you are likely living in fear as a speaker. If you answered 3 questions with yes, I'm sorry to tell you, but you are living in fear as a speaker, and you need to learn to be brave. This is the formula that I use to escape so many years of fear. B, believe in yourself. It's the very foundation of where your confidence lies. Pour your energy into the belief of your voice and what you are speaking about to help impact other people. Your voice is needed out in the world. R, roadmap. Roadmap yourself away from any fear that may be holding you back, that you may recognize, or dig deep a little bit deeper and find out where did that fear take root with you and how can you roadmap away from it. A, abilities. Use your own abilities and develop other abilities that you need to share your voice and your story. V, view. The only view that you need to focus on is your goal of being a fantastic speaker and out there sharing your light and your message to other people. And E, expectations. Forget about everyone else's expectations and focus on the expectations that you have for yourself as a speaker. You know, once I moved through the process of being brave, I realized that by recognizing where that fear resided at its root, that I could lift myself to a higher place by having courage. And so I want to share with you what I call the 7 promises of courage for speakers. The first promise is confidence, believing in yourself. You know, I mentioned earlier, it's the foundation where everything else is built upon. And the truth of the matter is, if you're not feeling confident or putting forth the effort to look confident, be confident in who you are in your story, other people can feel that from you without you saying anything. So when you're speaking, you want to be who you are in that present moment and let your confidence shine through. The second promise of courage is ownership. And by that, I mean, get in the driver's seat of your life with your passion as a speaker. You know, once I had to separate from my parents, I also had to return my dad's 1974 Carmen Ghia Volkswagen because the cult leaders would not allow me to use his car, even though he had told me I could take it when I was moved out of my home at 17 by the cult leaders. I was visiting with my dad just a couple of months ago. He still has that 1974 Volkswagen Carmen Ghia, and it's always a great reminder when I'm there to pull that car out of the garage and take it for a spin around Lake Texoma with him. And so when I think about ownership, I think about opening up that driver's side door and sliding into that seat and leading yourself within your confidence as the speaker that you are. The third promise of courage is unstoppable. You see, once you have that confidence and once you have self-leadership in your belief of who you are and your message, you simply become unstoppable. And what I say is you're working and moving more in a flow instead of the start and stop. You know, how many of you have ever felt the cha-cha in your speaking business? Oh, I think I've landed that. Oh, maybe I'm not the perfect speaker for them. But when you're unstoppable, you are in such a flow that you keep going to that next person, to that next connection. Who do you know that may be looking for a speaker? Where are places that you could go, such as PSA, to hone your skill as a speaker and have the opportunity to share your message? So being unstoppable is so fantastic. The fourth promise of courage is relationships. How are you creating and connecting and building your own community of like-minded people, and also those that are in the industry of hiring speakers? You know, 2 months ago, someone saw me post on social media about my book and about me speaking. And it was a person that I had worked with over 20 years ago when I worked in the telecom industry. And the next thing I knew, they made a referral to me for an aerospace company. And when they reached out to me, they had a photo of my book detailing all the information about my story. And, you know, I have to tell you, it never crossed my mind that my story would relate to a team of leadership people in the aerospace industry. And yet these people reached out to me. Not only did they hire me as a paid speaker for their event, but they also bought a book of my book that I personally autographed for every single one of their attendees. I'm telling you, I could not have made that up. I could not have predicted that. But that is the power of building a connected community, that when people see you showing up, sharing your message, they truly want to help you. And they also know people that they can refer you to. You know, I'm sitting here looking at a wonderful friend of mine, Demi Woodson, who I met over 30 years ago when I was the person out connecting and building relationships for the telecom industry, who would then take those referrals back to our executives, and then they would make the calls and schedule the meetings to sell telecom equipment. And from that experience of meeting Debbie so long ago, we have maintained not only supporting each other, cheering each other on, but also referring. She is also a speaker and referring people back and forth to each other. That is the power of building your connected community. And I will tell you, when you're leading yourself, you are also the glue to keep those relationships on fire and built, because if you're not seen in the scene, it is so easy with all the noise of everything that's going on today, even in social media, to get lost in all of the noise. So building your connected community. The fifth promise of courage is action. You know, and sometimes we have to take a different action for a different result. You know, in my personal life, I was just programmed to this way of living, but I was also so blessed. You know, sometimes when people are under stress, things get bottled up or bottlenecked. I often talk about how people get stacked up in their fear, similar to like shopping carts at the local grocery store. When you're there and you're trying to get the buggy disconnected from the others. But what I realized on the other side of this fear is all of these pieces of courage that I'm sharing with you of how I was able miraculously to separate myself from that horrific situation and take ownership as it related to my business. You see, in telecom, I started out as a $10 an hour secretary. And years later, when I left that industry, I had broken through the glass ceiling and was supporting 3,500 employees in my division. Once I became a business owner and an entrepreneur, one day I was sitting at my desk and I was thinking, oh my goodness, how was I so seamlessly able to do all those tasks? And here I'm sitting at my desk in my own office, a dream of a lifetime, and my calendar is totally blank. How did that happen? And how do I fill that calendar up? And so I help people of either shifting out of, or, you know, maybe not even shifting out of corporate. You may be working in corporate and also building your speaking business. But what are the things that you need to be doing every single day to move your dream and your goal to a reality? So action, the fifth promise of courage. The sixth promise of courage is gratitude. And I will tell you, it is truly the gateway to anything that you desire. If your goal is to be a speaker and to share your voice so that you can impact other people, by gratitude and being thankful for everything that you have today. You know, when I was living in that cult, unable to see my parents, I remember in the middle of so many mental and emotional storms that I prayed for a relationship with my parents, that I prayed for restoration for my parents, and that I was thankful for that happening, even though at the current moment, it seemed like it was impossible. And many years later, when I finally broke free from that place, my parents were the first people that I went to. And instantly, we were reconnected as if there was no time lapse in the many years that I was unable to speak to them, see them, or even hear their voice. And so being grateful and thankful for what you have right now is the blessing that opens up doors for your speaking, for your coaching, for whatever your business is, and it gives you the opportunity to share your voice. And I think we would all agree that the reason that we want to share our voice is not for us. You see, my story is not my message. It's not from me per se. I'm just the messenger of, regardless of what you've been through in your life, you are an overcomer. And you can help other people from what you have lived through. And that is why your story and how you share that to other people is so important. And then the seventh promise of courage is empowered. When you're empowered, you're helping other people from who you are. To me, there's nothing more powerful than that. From owning your story, as messy as it can be. And I will tell you, there was a lot of years I was like, oh my gosh, if anybody ever knew my story, you know, would I be cut off from them? And then it was also the reason of why it took me 35 years to finally walk away and live in peace. Because I knew by me walking away, I would lose some friends that I had had since early years in my life and family members. And yet my desire for living in fearless freedom, when it started screaming louder than the fear that I felt, I knew that I had to move and I had to do something different. So when you're empowered about a vision and mission that's bigger than you and how you help other people. You know, my message is that I'm on a mission to help people break free from fear and live in fearless freedom, because I don't believe anyone should live in fear. And I don't believe that anyone should be held back on the dreams and the goals and who they are to help other people. You know, I often say that the journey as a speaker is not linear. It's more accustomed to a roller coaster. You know, we're always out there networking. We're always out there sharing, and we're always connecting. And that is why it's so important to continuously not only improve upon yourself with personal development and your own leadership, but it's also crucial that you keep surrounding yourself and you keep reaching out to people and you keep connecting with like-minded people, because I can tell you there's enough speaking opportunities going around in this country and other countries that your voice is truly needed. And the more that you hear that and the more that you get that, the more action that you will take, the more that your calendar will fill up on what specific things that you need to be doing every single day to move your voice louder. So I challenge you today to give yourself grace to continue to learn and grow. And in doing so, you'll be able to move through any fear with courage, knowing that you will land safely on the other side because you choose to move forward in growth. And so I so appreciate you all for showing up today. You know, they say over 80% of your success is showing up. And every speaker that has spoken today, there is a nugget of information that you can take here right today and build upon in your business and be a little bit further along tomorrow than what you were today by logging in. And so for those of you that would like to learn more or share, you know, maybe there's a fear that you know, or maybe, you know, when you're driving a car, sometimes we have a car in our blind spot. You know, fear also operates in that way, and we may not even be consciously aware of it. But I'm offering a 30-minute private consultation, complimentary, to get to know you better. I love connecting with like-minded people, and I want to learn more about you and your business and who is your ideal client that I can help and pass along those referrals. And so I would love to connect with you. I will post my information down in the chat so you can reach out. And thank you again, Brian, for this opportunity. Thank you all for being here today. And just so blessed to see you all here and share some helpful things that will help you overcome your fear with courage.
All right. Thank you, Kim. We have a few minutes if anyone has any questions that they want to pose for Kim. If not, we can just say goodbye. But I thought I would offer that if anyone has anything. Nope. All right. Oh, so wait, there is one in the chat. It says, how'd you write your book? I think that's what it is. Yeah. How did you write your book?
So interestingly enough, I had the title of my book 15 years ago. And at the time it was like, I know that my book is Unshakable Courage. Like that is specifically everything that I'm about, whether it's my journey in my personal life or in my business. But at the time, my book would have just been my story, and I didn't want that. So I waited. And then what I did is I got really quiet with myself and really like, how was the road, like, how could I help people because of my story? And that's how the 7 promises of courage came about, because I started writing out these things sustained me during that situation. So I actually wrote my book. It's self-published, and I've helped 10 other authors do the same. It is one of the things that I offer in my business consulting. And it's just so interesting. You know, you never know where your voice is going to go. But someone read my story and she's like, oh my goodness, I have a similar situation. And so now there's a book out there that I helped another author write, and also she interviewed other authors in that book, and she had a different experience, but she was born and raised into a religious cult as well. And it's another one of those things, like there's no way that I could have predicted that.
Okay. So Kim, did you put the information you
Yes,
said you were
I'm
going to put something in the chat?
Yes, I will type my information right here for you.
Anyway, yeah, so I don't want to end our virtual summit until we get that in the chat.
It's there.
I'm not seeing it.
Oh, okay.
Or also, I mean, this is recording, and I don't think people will see the chat in the recording. So can you just say it for us?
Sure. So it's Kim with Y, KYM glass.com is my website. And my email is kim@kimglass.com. And I love talking on the phone. So my phone number is 469-999-8711. Would love to talk with you, learn more about you.
All right. Thanks again, Kim. And I want to thank all of our attendees today. Without attendees, this doesn't happen. So thanks to our attendees and speakers. So thanks, JoAnn, thanks, Paul, and thanks, Kim. And we'll see you at the next virtual summit in August. So stay tuned and watch your emails. Thanks. Goodbye.
Awesome. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.